used to say, last one in is a rotten egg? I do. Nobody says that anymore. Last one in is a rotten egg. But I kind of think it's true in this sense. Look, I have a kind of a thesis, and it goes something like this. If the North wants to do something, the South should do it too. Mexico. Spring has sprung, and we're almost in April. They say April showers bring May flowers. Hopefully they're herbs, big and tall, and you can smoke them. You know, Mexico, no pressure here, but I really think you should follow your neighbor at the tippy top, the very north. Skip the middle neighbor. They seem to have a problem with you nowadays. Follow the lead of a place like Canada. You know, Canada recently, throughout all of its provinces and territories, legalized marijuana, cannabis, weed. And America and Mexico haven't done so. And my advice to Mexico, take it or leave it. But I really think you should hop on board and do the same thing as Canada. Here's why. One, first and foremost, if you, and I know some people are going to say this is unscientific, but polls are pretty scientific. If you take a poll of Generation Z, as they're commonly referred to, Gen Z kids, if you poll the Gen Z kids, it's like 70-80% are like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Marijuana should be legal. And you gotta think, if everybody's smoking who wants to smoke marijuana anyway, the governments who love to talk about deficits, seems to me they're missing out on a lot of tax revenue. You know how much tax revenue legalizing marijuana could do for Mexico? Quite a bit. And so Canada said, if people are going to use it, which they are, why not make some profit off the top? For us, the government. We do it for everything else. And, you know, it's not the most dangerous drug. I guarantee you, legalizing cannabis, marijuana, will not harm as many people as sugar has. Oh my goodness. I just recently learned, you all, that almost a century ago, we as Americans, I can't speak for the Mexicans, but we as Americans, we were consuming 4 pounds of sugar per person per year, almost a century ago. Care to venture what that amount of sugar consumption per year per American is now in 2023? 170 pounds, you all, per person per year. I don't think anybody's going to do 170 in terms of pounds of marijuana per year. I mean, no stoners. But even a stoner, I don't think, could do 170 pounds of marijuana per year. And last I checked, you're probably not going to get diabetes or high blood pressure by smoking an herb. But you get all of that with sugar as a side effect. And there's various other drugs that people consume besides just sugar. So it's not like people are not going to get their preferred drug of choice anyway. Why miss out on the money for the government? Okay, now that we've got the government and why you should do it and your incentive to do it out of the way, let's talk about the citizenry. Because I care more about the citizenry of Mexico than I do the government. Just saying. Not saying that the Mexican government is not good. I would say that of any government. The citizenry is more important than governments in every country. Anyway, this would be a boom for the citizens. Think about it. All the dispensaries that the common people are going to open up. And before you say that it would mess up the cartels, actually, the legalization of marijuana would be a huge surplus and windfall for the cartels. Who do you think is going to open the biggest dispensaries? Have the fanciest dispensaries? Have the best stuff? Have the most sophistication? The big players. Now, not to say that if you're a small-time player you couldn't get in. Well, we know how this works. The folks with the most always have the best. So the cartels, gone are the days of the messy people fudging on you, people bailing on you, people getting scared to do business with you because of reputation. Now you got a nice, swanky shop. You can play your favorite salsa music, bachata, merengue. And people are happy because the people that are going to come into your establishment are coming to purchase. And they feel safe. So, a lot of times, big timers feel like legalizing is going to do bad for business. But think about how much business you lose each year from people who don't want to do business because of reputation. They're like, this person is affiliated with the cartel. Better stay away. That's $1 loss. A peso unearned. A dinero never made. So legalizing actually does well for the government, the cartel, and the little citizen. Now, let's talk about the benefits for the common everyday user. You know, research study after research study after research study, where people who have done the research, because laws are more favorable, have made all types of studies available saying that marijuana actually reduces pain, reduces stressors, and is actually, in amounts good per person per body, an effective medication. I'm going off of research and studies. I'm not going off of emotions and slogans. You all remember Just Say No, the DARE campaign, and how they told you that if you smoke the devil's lettuce, you turn into Frankenstein, Count Dracula, werewolf. You all remember all of these urban legends around marijuana, don't you? And you all remember how scary it got out there on the street. If you were caught smoking a joint and the police rode by, they would throw you up against the concrete, rough you up, and take you into the slammer. And you might get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years in jail, prison. Especially if you were a person of color in this country. And so now we know that it doesn't turn you into werewolf, Count Dracula, and Frankenstein. And we know that in moderation, it's safer and more effective than alcohol. According to the Gen Z kids, they prefer it over alcohol. You know, all the kids are drinking less and smoking marijuana more. This is the trend. So, Mexico, what I'm saying is hop on in. Don't let Canada get all of that money and you miss out. And you know, if it's legal in Mexico, you know how many people are just going to come for the warm weather and smoke marijuana and not have any worries about hang-ups with law enforcement, with the government? So you have an additional benefit in terms of the climate over Canada. Another benefit of legalization. Now, you have concerned residents, parents. So what you want to do to alleviate those types of concerns is usually what we do with alcohol. Age restrictions. You will have to show an ID to ensure that you're of the age to consume it. Same thing we would do with alcohol and cigarettes. Oh, if I had to bet pesos or dollars, which country would legalize marijuana first? Whether it's America or Mexico next. I'd bet on Mexico. And the reason I wouldn't bet on America legalizing marijuana next is because, well, Americans, the establishment in America, they seldom like to eat crow. And they'd have to do a lot of eating crow. You see, they would have to acknowledge that they've operated in a systemically racist way towards marijuana. They've incarcerated thousands of their own citizens for having a joint, mostly citizens of color. And then they would have to say that, well, we did this and now we're legalizing it. And the people who own and operate dispensaries are not the people who were criminalized for using in the first place. So, aesthetically, It's a bad look. And Americans seldom like to apologize, do reconciliation, and have to admit when they've been racist. Mexico, you don't have any of those problems. So you can fast track the Americans on this issue. And I think it'll be a tremendous benefit to the citizenry, to the Mexican people. Look, I do encourage the United States to legalize. There's no reason in the world that you're going to still list marijuana as a Schedule I drug in America and put it with the likes of things like fentanyl, heroin, crack, cocaine. That's insane, you all. So what I'm saying is, Mexico, don't worry about American insanity. It's rampant, pervasive, and always present. Do what's best for you, and I think that's legalizing. This April, Mexico, join Canada, be on the winning team. I think you should really examine legalization. Just on tourist money alone, you're going to make a lot. People are going to flock from South America, America itself, and even Canada. A lot of Canadians will take their Canadian shit down to Mexico. And if Mexico and Canada can trade good stuff, it's good for Mexico and Canada. If America doesn't want to get on board with common sense, cut them out the picture. Look, it's a changing landscape, and you have to either be able to adapt or not. Americans seem slow nowadays to adapting. Mexico, you can be quick and fast and do something really beneficial. I encourage the Mexican government to legalize marijuana as soon as possible. Follow Canada and ignore America. That's my advice for 2023 for Mexico. Be more like Canada and less like your closest neighbor, who's really not being so neighborly at the moment. But hey, Americans don't even like other Americans. So it's no wonder that they're bad neighbors as well. I wish you all the best of luck in Mexico. And I think it's going to do wonders for you. I really do.